Donny Cates and Martin Coccolo pit the All-Father of Thunder against the Green Goliath as Thor tries to stop the multiversal traveling Hulk and make him answer for his crimes committed in El Paso. Donny Cates begins a brand new event series filled with fantastic action and a continuation of both the Thor and Hulk books, both of which Donny is writing at the moment. I liked how new reader friendly this issue was, as it had a handy 2 double-page spreads at the beginning of the issue that filled everyone in on what's been going on with the Hulk and Thor before just getting right into the action, and that's what most of this book is, just pure violence between these two unstoppable forces. I liked as well Donny plays with the idea that both these heroes now have a sort of angel demon sort of thing on their shoulder in the form of Odin in Mjolnir for Thor, and the Betty Ross Titan aspect of the Hulk inside the Starship Hulk with Bruce, and it led to a really cool moment where Bruce decided to take charge and fight smartly against Thor, something he's never really properly done before, and it led to an extremely epic moment of Hulk ripping himself out from under Mjolnir because he knows he can take the damage. The finale with Odin making a surprise appearance inside Hulk's mind was really cool, and a great use of the Banner Odin characters, being that they don't physically exist in the real world anymore, making this not just a physical war with the Hulk and Thor, but also a mental war between Bruce and Odin, which is a really neat and interesting way to take their battle since it's on 2 fronts now. Martin Coccolo spearheads the issue with some fantastic and really creative art choices that sold the heavy hits and kicks and punches of all of the characters. I thoroughly enjoyed how the fight was visualized for parts of it, making it out to be like a literal video game, like a Street Fighter-esque sequence with health bars and power-up special bars and everything. It looked really quite cool, and it was such a fun and new way to show a fight we've seen so many times over the last couple of decades. Hulk vs. Thor Banner of War Alpha was a fun and different beginning to Donny Cates' new cosmic event, changing things up with the usual slugfests we've seen Thor and Hulk partake in over the years, and add in some new creative elements that look to change the status quo for both characters by the end of the series. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Hulk vs. Thor Banner of War Alpha finds the Watcher waiting amongst the crowd to watch the battle between Thor and Hulk take place, quickly catching everyone up on what Thor has been up to as the God of Thunder becomes the All-Father, and now Mjolnir has been shattered but has been reforged with the soul of his now dead father Odin, who now lives inside the hammer. Bruce Banner meanwhile has turned the Hulk into his own personal multiversal starship, using the Hulk in the engine room to power the physical body of the behemoth into the multiverse to escape his crimes on Earth, meeting an alternate version of himself as he fought gamma monsters before Thor caught up to him in between realities. Thor tells Banner to stop, trying to get him to control his rage, but Banner tells him to shut up, smashing Thor down onto the war-torn cartoon hell world of Sakreen. Odin tells his son to get up, but Thor demands the hammer let him deal with this on his own. Bruce meanwhile tells the computer to run diagnostics on hull integrity, as Betty tells him that this won't be like the other fights. Odin demands that he be let loose on the creature, but Thor refuses to do so thanks to the surrounding innocents, not wanting all-out war on the innocent planet. Odin tells him to grow up and get to work, as Betty says that Bruce can't really think he's going to beat Thor this time. Bruce and Thor tell their respective partners to leave them alone, stopping the battle for a moment as they ask each other who they are talking to. After a moment of silence, they resume their battle as Bruce kicks the engine up a notch, with Thor calling in for Sif to take them both away from the innocents so they can battle safely. Sif teleports them via the Bifrost to the Black Hand of God, casting them into the big fighting arena that lays at its center. The two beings continue their bout as the announcers call for the beginning of round 1. Thor smashes Hulk in the face with the hammer, telling him that he killed 17 people in El Paso, something Hulk doesn't even remember. Thor slams the hammer down on Hulk's spine, pinning him to the ground as Thor apologizes to Bruce, knowing that they know this was always going to end like this, and one can only cage the monster for so long. Thor says that it falls to him to do this, saying goodbye to his old friend, and he won't be reveling in this victory. Bruce knows that wasn't him in El Paso wanting to help, but Thor tells him to stop fighting against Mjolnir since he won't be able to move it. Bruce moves the computer engine to level 8, but the computer reminds him that they are pinned under the magical hammer and they cannot move it no matter what. Bruce knows, wanting full haptics to be given over to his armor. The computer recommends against that, but Bruce knows they have fought Thor before and beat him, and he's not scared. The computer reminds him that Hulk fought Thor, not Bruce, and Bruce knows that's the point, since they have always fought harder in the past, now wanting to fight smarter. He orders the computer to feed him every file on every fight Thor and Hulk have ever had, wanting to feel it all through the haptics. The computer activates the files, letting Bruce feel every single fight. Hulk meanwhile gets up, allowing Mjolnir to rip right through his stomach as Thor watches in horror. Hulk demands that Thor pick up the hammer so they can continue, so Thor pulls it through the massive hole in Hulk's stomach as the fight resumes. Hulk slams Thor into the ground, breaking the arena around them as Odin tells his son to get up, knowing now he has to do everything. Bruce wonders what Thor is saying, apologizing since he tried to reason with the god, but he is not being taken in. Mjolnir meanwhile speeds off into the sky as it begins to rain. Bruce scoffs at the light shower, knowing thunderstorms won't hurt him, but Thor knows it's not thunder he hears, it's Mjolnir breaking the sound barrier. Mjolnir returns, slamming into the black hand of God as Thor beats Hulk around the broken arena, falling down below the fighting pit. Odin tells Thor that when he struck Hulk, he felt something, not saying that the Hulk is possessed, but more like he is haunted. He asks his son to let him loose, so Thor allows the hammer to go to the Hulk, telling Banner that he doesn't relent and won't listen to reason, so perhaps he will listen to the hammer. The hammer strikes Hulk in the head, blowing Bruce out of his haptic armor as Odin enters the command center, telling Bruce that he would like a word with him.